Good afternoon. Welcome to Grandma Katie Crochets and Knits. Sometimes I quilt, but that's my other channel. You'll have to go somewhere else to watch me quilt. Um, okay, so I am now crocheting on my grandson's Afghan because I finished my daughter's knitted Afghan. I knitted the basket weave. Um, for her, and it was that huge. It's a huge 64 by 66 with blanket yarn. It is called Knitteruna, Knyteruna. It is blanket yarn. It is a bulky, super bulky 6. Takes size 11, or an L crochet hook, or at least a size 11 knitting needles. I used size 13 knitting needles for it. It is washable and dryable. You probably want to wash it on like a gentle cycle. So, and it took all 4 skeins. I did not waste any yarn. Okay, so when you see the video, where that will come in is the first part of the video had no sound at all, so I had to delete that. And but the second half of the sound did have video. But what happened was, as I was doing my last row of the bind off, I was playing yarn chicken and I ran out of yarn, so I had to unknit the last row and then one more row, the row previous to that. So I did that, and then I started over with doing the bind off, which is where you will see that come in. So I saved the bind off for video so you could see me do the bind off. I wanted you to see that I do finish my projects. Okay, I do finish my projects. I'm not so ADD that I can't finish a project at all. And I do have some long-term projects, but I try not to keep them too long-term. Okay, I'll say it that way. Anyway, the Knitteruna you can find on Amazon. It comes in, okay, the packages come with 4 skeins to a package, and there are, as far as I know, there are 11 colors. That's how many colors there were in November when I ordered this. They could possibly have more colors right now. I do not know, but when I ordered this, they did have 11 colors, and what I paid for this was, it was 4 skeins for $23.95, I believe, which comes out about $6 a skein. It was very reasonably priced, and it knitted up very, very well. I did have to frog a few times, but when I frogged it, it did not shred or anything like that. It didn't come apart at all. It frogged very nicely and re-knitted. It did not come apart or anything. And I must say that in all 4 of the skeins, I only found three manufacturing knots, which were not horrible. And all 3 of the knots were they were small knots, and they stayed in very, very well. You cannot tell where they are in the blanket. And when I went to add each skein to the Afghan, I was able to knot the yarn in a way that the knots came out small enough that everything just worked out really well, and I'm very happy with it. I would actually recommend this yarn as a blanket yarn. So you know, if you're looking for an economic cost of a yarn, try it out and see how you like it. And it does come in 11 different colors. So if you're looking for something other than, you know, your Bernat or whatever, try it out and see how you like it. And that right now, as far as I know, they only do come in solid colors, but it's very good yarn. Okay, enough about that. So now I am working, like I said, on my grandson's Afghan. I've actually, in the last couple of days, I did this section from here to here last night. That only took me maybe a few hours or so while I was watching TV. So I'm adding some love to that. I wasn't going to knit, but I wanted to put some love on a short-term project, which is my knit along with Nina's Knots and Charming Charmed Grammy. That's what it is, Charmed Grammy. Anyway, they are together every other Wednesday. They do a live show and they're doing a knit along, and this is the pattern that they are doing. It is it's super easy. It's just straight off knit, and this is called the garter stitch because you just knit every row. And what you do is you start off with 5 stitches, you cast on 5 stitches, and then every row you knit 3 stitches, do 1 yarn over, and then knit to the end of the row, and then you turn it, knit 3 stitches, 1 yarn over, that's the 4th stitch, is just a simple yarn over, and then knit to the end of the row. And every row you do that, and that's what adds and makes it grow. So just find whatever color you want, whatever your favorite yarn or whatever, or if you want to buy a new yarn. And this is the yarn that I purchased from Walmart a few weeks back because I wanted to see how it was going to turn out, and this is turning out absolutely beautiful. And the thing about this was I was using size 13 needles when I started, so these stitches down here are slightly larger than these stitches up here because I was using size 11 needles. Well, my size 11 needles, one of them popped off. I can't remember which one it is. Anyway, one of them popped off. I was in the middle of a row and the end popped off, and I was like, oh no, all of my other size 11 needles are busy. So what do? I go in my bedroom. I have a pair of size 10, so I just went down 1 size. No big deal, not a problem. I finished the first skein and went to the second skein. Now, what yarn am I using for this? What is this beautiful yarn? This is Bloom Chunky Big, and it is a Premier yarn by Premier. You can see that. Bloom Chunky Big. The color is Wildflower, okay? It is a 5 bulky. It takes a size 11 knitting needle. I'm using a 10 and it's working just fine. So you can use a 10, but you want to go 10 or bigger, larger. It also will take at least a size L crochet hook. So there's that. You can wash and dry on machine wash, warm, gentle, tumble dry, low. So you can wash and dry it if you wash it on gentle and tumble dry it on low. So there's that. And this is going to be a shawl. So I'm only doing it one direction. I don't have to do any decrease stitches. When I get it as wide as I want it so that it will be a shawl, then I will do my bind off row and I will be completely finished with this. And I'm figuring 2 skeins should probably be enough for my shawl. At least I'm hoping it is. If I get to the end of the second skein and I find out it's not quite big enough, I will purchase a 3rd skein because I really do like this yarn. So that is it for Wednesday's whips, and the rest of this video will be me binding off my daughter's knitted Afghan. As you will see, I finished a project, everybody. Can you believe it? I finished a project, y'all. Oh my goodness. Yay for me. Anyway, so that's it for now. I love y'all, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. So I unknitted the last row that I did, so let's try this bind off again. So the first time I'm going to knit 2 stitches, and then I'm going to take the bottom stitch and pass it over the top stitch. And so with every stitch, that's all I'm going to do. So I do a knit and pass and knit and pass. Really? Come on. There we go. Sometimes the stitches get a little bit stubborn and they don't want to do what I need them to do. All right. all the faces I'm making, concentrating on getting this thing done. And actually, I am thinking about the next project I would like to finish. I believe I am going to finish the Afghan for my grandson and his wife, because that was also supposed to be a Christmas gift, which I did not, again, I did not finish it. What happened to that stitch? That was a weird stitch. Okay. There we go. And yes, I actually will have more than enough yarn to bind this off. Oops. Let's try that again. There we go. So yeah, I am going to crochet. I'm not going to knit for a while. I'm going to be finishing some crochet projects in the near future. One of them will be the little crochet top that I had started the other day. And because that one's going fairly quickly. I have half of the first panel done. I didn't work on that. I started it, but I didn't work on it too much because I wanted to get this Afghan finished. It's the elephant in the room, and I just wanted to deal with it and be finished. So everything else has pretty much gone by the wayside. But as far as projects go, my short-term project will be my sweater vest. My long-term project that I'm working on will be my grandson's Afghan. So, and that's not quite as long-term as, you know, this one. That one will be quicker. I crochet much quicker than I knit, that's for sure. Come on, there we go. I'm just sorry I didn't get to do that other pattern with this yarn. I think that would have been a very pretty Afghan to make. I may try it again with some different yarn at some point, but not anytime soon, that's for sure. So. Go. Get those stitches up there. Always adjusting where the stitches are. Okay. I hope this didn't bore you too much, but I wanted you to be present for this last row so we can celebrate together. There, just a few more stitches. 7 to be exact. 8 if you count the one that you passed over. Come on. 7, 6, 5, 4. Oh, whoops, 3, 2, and 1 more, whoops, 1, there we go, last stitch. So I will, oops, you know what? I'm going to use my crochet hook for this. All right, so this is a size I crochet hook. This will be just fine. So I'm going to snip my yarn. I'm going to give it about 6 inches. I'm going to pull that through there. Come on, there we go. Yay! I am so done, and these are my size 13 circulars. Let me see how long they are, and I'm glad I had the really long circulars. Okay, and this is how much yarn I had left over from all of that. It is, let's see, about 1.5 yards of yarn left, and I have nothing else to go with that, so I'm going to toss that into my scrap pile. I don't know what I would ever use it for, but, you know. How long are these? I kept thinking I was stretching these way out as I was using them. I don't know. Wow, that was, because that blanket was heavy. Okay, let's see. How long are these? These are, and you measure from tip to tip. So these are, no, come on. These are, come on. These are 38 tip to tip. So I'm supposing the package probably said 39 inches. But I am glad that they were as long as they were. They accommodated my Afghan very nicely. I had 100 stitches on the Afghan. I cast on 100 stitches, and I did the garter stitch for 10 rows, 5 on each side. And then I did, I'll tell you what I did. I could write this down for you and leave it in the description if you would like. I can do that. Oh, here, let's get these ends woven in. Oh my goodness. Looky there, how pretty. So thankful to have this done. So thankful, so thankful. I am using my metal darning needle. See how big that is? That yarn went through there very nicely. See that? I'm just going to weave in this big old long thread if I can get it through that first stitch. Come on. And then I will get that paper and we will read the specs on this yarn again, even though I introduced it to you when I first purchased the yarn. We have some new subscribers. I have more people that are watching the videos. So, and I have decided to keep going with the videos, just so you all know. I will not abandon you. I promise. I will not abandon you. I'm going to keep going. So this is a finished object. Finished object. Woo! It's always happy, happy, happy to get a project finished. Yes. Okay. I don't need that little piece. All right. Let's check the other end. The other end. See, this thing is like huge. I'm going to measure this in a minute and I can tell you exactly how big it is. End to end and side to side. Get that woven back through there. All right. Gotcha. Oh, so done. So done. Oh, that's the other good thing about this. Because I only used one color, I only had 2 ends to weave in. And you might be asking, well, what about all the ends when you tied the yarn together? Well, this particular yarn, because of how I was able to add the skeins together, I did not have to weave in the ends from the skeins. So that helped a lot. That helped just tremendously. So let me now stand up and show you the size of this blanket. Oh, wait a minute. Let me measure it first. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to do this while I'm sitting down because it will be easier. So I'm going to fold it in half lengthwise. Where is it? Where are you? Where are you? There you are. Okay. All right, so I'm going to fold it in half. Fold it in half. There we go. All right. All right, so it is 66 inches long by 66 long by 64 wide, 66 by 64. So that makes a very large Afghan, and it's heavy and it's very warm. So my daughter is going to absolutely love this blanket. I can imagine where it's going to go in her house. She will probably use it to snuggle with on her bed or on her couch. And she has dogs that snuggle as well. So there it is. Give me just a second and let me show you this thing full on because you do want to see this. Okay, I'm going to move my camera if I can move it without spilling everything over. So I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of room in my apartment, but anyway, here, as you can see, it's really huge. There is that 66 wide by 64 long. That's big enough for like 2 people, pretty much. That thing is huge. Next, and it looks like I was in the middle of the yellow row. So I will be working on this to get this, see if I can get this finished next. And I will see you all in the next video. Have a great week.